Hi, everyone. This is Caroline with the Expat Interviews Thriving Abroad, where I give you an opportunity to meet the most amazing expats all across the globe. And we bring you really interesting people who are in the expat place. And today I am really excited to talk with someone who is going to be definitely someone that you're going to want to talk to or connect with when you hear her story. Good morning, and thank you, Denisa, for joining me.
Thank you, Caroline.
Denisa is in Albania, and Albania right now is on one of the top 10 list of countries for many people that are looking to expat or to change their lifestyle and go to another country. We don't hear a lot about Albania, or we haven't in the past because of they've had some tumultuous issues like everywhere else, but it is starting to become one of the destinations for many people, and there's so much to know and so much to learn about this country. And Denise is going to give us just a little bit of info today that will help you maybe decide to add Albania to your list of places. So Denise, I wanted to begin just having you tell us a little bit about your expat. I mean, you were born in Albania, but you actually had an expat experience of your own. Could you just tell us a little bit about that?
Correct, correct. So I left Albania when I was just over 17, straight out of high school. In our history, this is the big news, but maybe worldwide not. About 5,000 Albanians escaped Albania via the embassies located in our capital, Tirana, in 1990. So I, after that, ended up in Italy, spent there 4 years of my life, learned a lot. I often refer to my life in Albania as living in a cave because, I mean, besides books and education from parents, we were very isolated worldwide with the world. We had a little bit of access to music, very little TV, to Italy, with Italy, and maybe ex-Yugoslavia. So very isolated is the only way I can explain it, but I'm sure it's very difficult to fathom for most people. And after Italy, I moved to Canada. The opportunity came along, and I moved to Canada, to Vancouver, BC, and I lived there for 18 years. To be honest, I left Albania to never come back, but visiting a few times in the recent years before I moved here, I saw changes. I saw some positive things. The weather, to be honest, was like, oh, so amazing, and just the feeling of, you know what, this is my native country. Let me like revisit this idea. And this is, and to be honest, the other big factor was 2008 economic crisis, which hit North America and the rest of the world, but also Canada, Vancouver, where I was at, and a lot of businesses closed down. I ran three Curves locations in North Vancouver, BC. So for 14 years, and I was very much part of the community, enjoyed my little business life and sort of Canadian life and all that. And when this all sort of when the 2008 hit, it was a drastic change, and it sort of made me rethink the whole. So after navigating for a few years through the difficulties, it made me rethink the whole, you know, starting over again in Canada. So I revisited Albania as an idea, and when I came here, I was pleasantly surprised. And you know, of course, after the immediate thought was, oh, it's wonderful, it's beautiful, and it is a beautiful country. It offers everything one wants to dream of. Like, I lived in Canada, like one of the most beautifully, naturally beautiful countries in the world. Well, Albania is not much different. I have the similar experiences here in a much smaller scale. We have rivers, we have lakes, we have mountains, amazing mountains, coastline, very short coastline, but still quite gorgeous. And for our population, it's perfect. So in these terms, Albania is wonderful. Cost of living here is Am I going on too far into the?
Oh, no, no, this is all what we want to hear. Absolutely.
So cost of living here is, quite different from North America. You know, I went from an income of like over $10,000 a month to here for a while, nothing until I sort of started to work and doing things, and that my expenses were, less than 1,000 a month. So I'm like, well, if you scale things down, there is comparable ratio, but in many ways. There are huge benefits here for somebody coming with an income that is an international income, let's say, or a pension, or so. Back to the benefits. I mean, these are all the good things that I'm sure people are looking for. Just like we know North Americans have gone to South America, to Mexico, to other places looking for this. Now Albania has started to become available, and one of the big pluses is that Americans, and actually just Americans, can stay in Albania for 1 year without a visa. So
Oh, really? So it's
yes.
12-month tourist visa.
Yes. So this
That's
is a huge accommodating factor. So a lot of Americans that are living in Europe, nomads or not, that have been sort of separated from their material belongings for a while and have been experiencing this free life of moving around, they come to Albania to rest for a while, because 1 year they can be here and stay put and do their thing and enjoy the country. And then quite often these people decide to also stay longer because they like it. And this is where a lot of them reach to me about certain things, with information about how to stay here.
Do you also have, I believe, like a digital nomad program where the government encourages digital nomads? But I guess with a 12-month visa, that kind of would fit into that if you could stay for a year.
There is talk in our parliament about coming up with a new legislation on digital nomads and pensioners moving to Albania. But this is not set yet. It is a matter of months, potentially, maybe longer. Sometimes we don't know how things go here, but there is talk about this. It's not quite finalized and approved yet. However, people can come here in four ways. If there is 4 ways that one can obtain the Albanian residency, would be by purchasing property, which is quite doable considering the property values here are quite low still. Albania inspires to join EU, so a lot of people are thinking about it in terms of investment, because in a few years down the road, being part of EU would be basically a huge benefit for Albanian citizens, so can access the rest of Europe. And thus the expectation of property value is that it will go up. This is one way. The other way is to work here, to obtain a work permit. And you can obtain that by either working for somebody or opening your own company and work locally. A lot of people combine this with working online. And the other one is to basically marry an Albanian. And that's about it. I think I covered them. Property, work, and
marriage. That about covers it.
Yeah.
You mentioned buying property. I know that Albania has a lot of castles. Could I buy a castle there? No, I'm just kidding. So this is really interesting. And Albania is situated in a really nice area. You mentioned the weather. These are all pluses for someone that is thinking about, a different lifestyle. The weather is great all year round. You're near the water, inexpensive living compared to other places. What would you say, for example, on average, just a regular, an apartment, maybe just a 1-bedroom apartment, what would that cost?
So a one-bedroom apartment in Tirana which is the capital, in the good areas varies from 350 euros a month to 500, 600, depending how luxury, how fancy it is. This has gone slightly up in the last few years. It was a little bit cheaper. It was around 250 to 300, but of course, because demand has gone up, prices have gone up. Now, in other areas of Albania, Tirana, considering, is the most expensive one. So, of course, here is where an expat would, in some areas, especially of Tirana, there's, they don't miss anything. So it's almost like, being anywhere in the world. So it is the capital. It is more, and it caters more to expats. But going to another town, for example, I'm just going to pick Lushnja, town that doesn't have a description or anything. So there, of course, it will be much cheaper. It will be less expats, and probably a little bit more difficult for an expat to adjust to living conditions of a normal sort of medium income Albanian family, let's say. So cheaper, meaning it could be 100 euros, 150 a month, even less maybe, potentially. So the rent is, but then again, as I said, then there is the summer parts, like the Saranda. South is Saranda is our coastal town bordering with Greece, and just we see Corfu is the island in front of it. So that is a favorite town, and there in the summer months it ranges quite high. Let's say the rent. But if somebody commits to a year rental, then it should be around 350 a month. A nice apartment, 1 bedroom with potentially water view.
What about stability, the political situation now in the country? I know most people don't recall the days of the issues that you had in the past, but how is it, stability? Wise, as far as, I mean, your currency is stable. Can we live safely? I mean, is there, any kind of maybe possibility of political dissidence or anything like that?
So, I mean, the Balkans is, it's always been a little bit the match of Europe, but anyways, that feels like it's a long time gone, that time, even though the negative connotation still sits on top of us like a dark cloud. And when people actually do come here and experience the country, they go, wow, this is amazing. I'm so surprised, positively surprised.
Yeah, I've only heard positive things. I've only heard positive things about the country so far, to be honest with you. I brought that up because a lot of people, maybe, older people that remember might be thinking about that. But everyone that I know recently that's been has had nothing but really positive and great things to say about the country.
I mean, there are issues still. The justice system needs a lot of work, and there is processes that it's going through, and so you don't want to get into a court case here because first of all you waste money, time, and potentially not resolve anything in your favor, whether you're right or wrong.
That's anywhere.
However, having said that, foreign citizens have special treatment all the time. We're really mean to each other, but we're really nice still to the foreigners. So that's a plus. However, I mean, it is a developing country. It is a country with a lot of poor people struggling, or people that came from a huge isolation, from a time when everything was dark and just, it's so difficult to describe, actually. For people to fathom it, and then basically we were exposed to the world, the material world, the capitalism, and the whole 9 yards of it. So there is people that have gone completely nuts over this, and they want to become rich overnight, and so you will find people like that here that will try to take advantage of a newcomer that is potentially a little bit naive about how things move around here. I mean,
Yep.
having said that, I speak Albanian. I am Albanian, but I sort of was, at 17, you're still a child. I was at school, then I left and I came back over 40. So I have had my share of problems here, considering that
Everywhere.
I
Yeah.
speak the language, but you know what? And it's been 8 years that I'm back. And later I understood that the moment that I opened my mouth and I said good morning or something, my native Albanian friends, my compatriots knew immediately that I was like I had just come back from somewhere. So which meant, oh, she's completely up in the clouds. Like she doesn't get anything that goes on here, and she's bait for, okay, let me see what I can offer her, let me see how I can triple the price for, I don't know, this little thing she needs. Or so there is this is unavoidable. This is why I think it is important, and this is why I felt from the beginning, after I got burned several times, that I thought, okay, I could be now that I sort of get it, even though I'm still learning every day. Uh, I can be the person that really sort of, puts on a brake on an enthusiastic expat to prevent them from running into problems that are really can be really unexpected. And having said this, I don't want to be discouraging them, but at the same time, I want to be here. I want to cautious them that buying this property that looks amazing, but it doesn't have papers, and it's really good price, no, just don't, because you're opening a huge problem for yourself. Or renting this place because it was offered to me or something. There's a few things to consider. So what can I say? I mean, people that have never traveled would come run into problems here. If people have traveled and they have learned a little bit that not the whole world is like the country that they came from. There are rules. There are different rules in different places, and then some places there are no rules whatsoever. So, you have to consider all these things before you make any major decisions, like any major investment. Like being here, you're fine. Expats are fine. They're safe. It's good. They live a wonderful life that locals don't, because the locals have the problem, the property problem, or the land. I, for one, I'm 3 years in a legal battle with people that have occupied land of my family, for example. And I see no end to this. Like it's just anyways. So these are the things that an expat doesn't have to deal with unless they get themselves into it. So that's where I come in. That's where I come in. It's like, okay, cautious, and yeah.
And this is where you come in. So you provide a service for anyone who is considering going to Albania to live, for whether it be for a short term or a long term. Tell us a little bit about the service that you offer.
So the services that we offer are listed, of course, on our website, Expats in Albania. This was born, the idea, from the group, the Facebook group with the same name, Expat in Albania, which I opened in 2014. And the group is very active, and of course they, newcomers find us and search us. So the services that I'm offering are the key essential ones that I've seen that people need. So my honest and the first reason why it was like, for me, is better to come through me than go through who knows what. However, people come here, do their research, and they find good resources everywhere, for sure. I'm not saying it's just me, but at least through the community that I service, I try and offer 1, 2, 3 that are necessary. So we offer consultations before you get here, at least like a 1 hour on the phone, follow up with emails. I offer consultation on immigration, so which is very important because before people get here, they should get some documents ready, which take time to do if they are already here. And then I recently bundled this up into a package, into a Welcome to Albania package, which includes the same thing, consultation about the country and culture, about immigration, helping you find a home. And this is where I act as an agent for the expat because of language and cultural barriers. And instead of them contacting other agents and having to run and see 100 properties that are nowhere near what they're looking for, I narrow it down and understanding them better, understanding the standard of living where they come from, and I basically come up with the key few properties that are worth seeing. So I save a lot of leg work. And the other thing is that I'm getting into slowly is being their agent in purchases. So this is, I'm not saying I'm a specialist in real estate. However, I have a lot of business background. I have bought and sold real estate myself. I'm always looking for investments myself. So what I offer is being their agent, being that somebody on their side, which they do need somebody on their side here, because a lot of times, of course, commission is so important for agents here that that's all they do. They run after and they just want the deal to happen, right? But then the expat could be left with a lot of problems after. Like just a friend of mine recently bought something on their own and they were left with a water bill of like $700 from the previous owner, and then the government just kept stopped their water supply and was asking the new owner to pay up or no water. So, you know, these are little things that can slip away when you're doing things without some local checking of all the details. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very important. It's very
important. You don't expect that to happen anywhere else, but you know, go figure, it happens here. So then now you have to deal with it.
Yep. It happens in many countries, to be honest with you. It happens throughout Latin America. It's always good to have someone on the ground that can guide you through the process. So we're going to leave the link to your website here below. And anyone that has any questions or that's thinking about Albania, I hope and I encourage them to reach out to you to get a little bit more information. And I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, helping everyone getting to Albania. And I hope that people will do research and, you know, on their own also before they, you know, they embark on any journey in any country. It's always good to do the research, but certainly reach out to professionals like Denisa, who can guide you along the way. And thank you so much. I'm so excited that Albania is slowly becoming, you know, a destination of choice, and hopefully you can help and guide more people to experience your beautiful country. Thank you for sharing a little bit of it with us.
Thank you, Caroline. That's wonderful. Thank you for reaching out. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. And if you like our content, please like and subscribe so you can get notifications every time we release a new expat interview. Thanks for watching.